Hey mates, I'm Alex.
And I'm Gaston.
Welcome to Power Mates.
This is the place to learn and share about Fabric and Power Platform. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this channel with your friends and colleagues. So, Power Mates, today we are talking about service principal support for data agent in Microsoft Fabric.
If you have ever tried to call a Fabric data agent from backend service, an automated pipeline or chatbot, and hit a wall because it required a real user to be signing in, so probably this video is for you.
Yeah, Alex, this is the one because that wall isn't a minor inconvenience, it's an architecture problem. Your agent cannot run headless, so it cannot run at night, for example. It cannot run as part of an orchestration that nobody is watching.
Yeah, and if you are building, for example, anything production grade in Fabric right now, so you have felt this.
Yeah, that's right. And the feature is called Service Principal Support for Data Agents. We are gonna deliver kind of the description to a blog post around this. This is in preview right now, and it changed where these agents can live in your stack. Today we are not just talking about it. We will set it up end to end on our own tenant live, and we will call the agent with 0 humans in the loop.
Let's name the problem direct. Data agents in Fabric are great. They sit on top of your enterprise data, of course. They answer grounded questions. And also they plug into Copilot experience. But until now,
Yeah, and until now, every API call to a data agent require delegated user identity, a real person with a real token actively signing into your tenant.
so which means no scheduled shops calling an agent overnight.
Yeah, and there's no backend services, no API gateway, no app with its own credentials.
So your web app's backend cannot call the agent. So your Power Automate flow using app credentials cannot call also the agent.
And the security teams that hate a little bit that, because every API call traces back to someone's personal account. That's not governance. That's a little bit of chaos.
Gaston, the question becomes, how do you give an application its own identity?
That's where the service principal really come in. A service principal is an application identity in Microsoft Entra ID. So that is something that you manage in the Azure portal. It's not a person. It's a set of credentials that you register to an application with its own permissions, its own audit trail, and its own life cycle.
Think of it as the difference between logging as yourself, versus your app having a badge that gets through the door.
Exactly. You register an app in Entra ID, give it a secret or a certificate, and at runtime it trades those credentials for an access token. And now that token can call a Fabric data agent.
So yeah, enlighten us, give me a real scenario.
Yeah, let's say a customer-facing chatbot on an Azure App Services. Your data lives in a Fabric lakehouse. You build a data agent on that lakehouse. Before this feature, your chatbot backend had to impersonate a user to call the agent. Completely wrong for a production app. So now you register the chatbot as an application, give it a service principal, grant it access, and it talks directly to the data agent with its own clean app identity. So every call is auditable. You can see this application called this agent at this time, and not Alex called the agent. The app called the agent. That's what the compliance teams need.
Yeah, that's great. And maybe a second scenario would be a Microsoft Foundry is the one I find really interesting that you mentioned to me the other day.
Yeah, and if you're building agentic workflows in Foundry, you can wire a Foundry agent to call Fabric data agent as a tool. The Foundry agent orchestrates the conversation. The data agent retrieves the ground answer from your enterprise data. So 2 layers of agents talking between each other. So no user in the loop. That's where enterprise AI is going. You are not building one agent. You are building agent systems, and every node needs its own identity.
Let's talk about use cases.
Yeah, financial services, for as an example, let's say a risk reporting system runs nightly, calls a data agent on your lakehouse to pull exposure summaries. No one at at a keyboard.
And in retail, for example, your e-commerce backend handles thousands of product queries an hour against a data agent grounded on your catalog. The app authenticate at itself, so no shared users account are.
If we think about manufacturing, kind of same thing. Foundry, orchestrator watch, production telemetry, and when let's say an anomaly surface, it calls a fabric derivation for historical patterns and root cause hints. Is fully automated, fully auditable.
Yeah, and another example could be on another use case or scenario on healthcare, for example. An internal audit bot queries a data agent over Fabric hosts clinical data. So and every query traces to the application, not to the individual analysts.
And basically, any scenario where your platform team will not accept user delegated authorization for a production system, which is most platform teams.
Let's stop talk. So let's actually see it. So Gaston, take us through it.
Let's head over to my machine and let's go for the 4 steps. That is, register the app, grant access in Fabric, get a token, and call the agent. We will show you how they gotchas as we go because there's one that bites everybody. So let's switch to this window here that is going to be my Azure portal. In my Azure portal, I can go directly to service principal or what we call the app registrations. So this is Microsoft Entra ID. And remember that here you can go to new registration. Let's give a name. This is where we find the name. And in my case, I already have this working on my end. So I can go to all applications and then we can see one of the ones that I create before. That is going to be Fabric Data Agent. And you can see here that a couple of things that we need to name it. First of all, you need single tenant here. We can leave the redirect URL empty, and then we can go and register. Then on the overview, we need to copy a couple of things here. The application, the client ID that is over here, that's something that you need to copy. And then you go to the certifications here, certificates and secrets, and you need to go there because you need to copy the value when you create this one. You can see that there's a couple of tries on my end, PowerMate's demo, but you can go to new client secret and create a new one again. Always copy the value immediately because you are going to be only seeing that once, so be careful about that. So when you create the client ID and secret, both of them, the client ID and the secret, are the application's identity. No person is attached. That's the whole idea of this. Then what we need to do is grant the service principal access in Fabric. So in this case, go to the API permissions here. In the API permissions, you go to, in my case, Microsoft Graph, but you can configure this, adding a permissions here, and you can go and call and Fabric public API. So you can go and see, in this case, with the Power BI services, you're going to see all the delegated permissions here, and you can see all the different permissions by app, by capacity, and you have all the contents here. In this case, we need to enable, scope this to our org, and then after we define this, I'm going to switch back to my Fabric. In this case, we have Fabric.
This is the part people get wrong, right?
Yeah, exactly. Every time there are 2 grants plus 1 tenant toggle. So if you miss any of them, the goal is gonna fail. That for sure. And then when you go back here, there's a couple of things that I would love to recall. In your Fabric tenant, you need to go to the admin portal and always go to the developer section here. And then in the developer, you're going to see here, you can filter service principal. And there's a couple of things that you need to do here. First of all, you need to set up and check here service principal can create workspace and so on, can call Fabric public APIs, and allow service principal to create and users profiles. Then check here that service principal can access read only admin APIs, and service principal can access. Check that you have this enabled in your tenant. This is really important to go ahead and enable the way you're going to be interacting with service principal. And then after this, you need to give access. In my case, I have a demos 2026 workspace. So you need to go here, demos 2026, and workspace access in the top right of my screen. And you can see here that we have the Fabric service principal here. If you don't have this, and you can check that I was trying with many different service principal here on different purpose, but every single principal is as another people, another account that you need to grant access. In our case, it's going to be enough giving contributor access. So notice that you can see here what is the level. In my case, I have contributor here, I have admin here, but it's going to be enough giving that option in terms of having contributor on this one. The third thing that you need to do is, and this is the gotcha, the data source itself. The data agent runs its query as the calling identity. So the service principal needs the read access to the underlying data. In my case, for example, if you have a lakehouse or warehouse, whatever the agent sits on, you need to share the agent, and the sharing the agent is not enough. You need access directly to the specific data source.
So wait a second, say that again, because I think that is the one.
Yeah. The granting the app access to the agent is not the same as
Mhm.
granting it access to the data behind the agent. So you need both of them. So the next one I'm going to open, and this is really interesting because I need to open a terminal. And in my case, I'm going to show you my terminal here. So then in the terminal, I'm going to run this Python script, that is Python, and this is to get the token. And this is, if you see here, the standard OAuth, the client credentials flow, the app posts its tenant ID, client ID, and secret to the Entra token endpoint, and ask for the Fabric resource scope. So one correction here to what is that in this case, you need to access the whole doc and understanding the API to see exactly what is going to look like to access this data, and check the decoded token that you have here. There's an app ID, and there's no user, no UPN. The application is the caller. So you can see here the sign that there's no user implication, that there's no batch, is not a person, is right a service principal. Then the second run that I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to do the Python and ask agent SPN, and running this command, now the app takes that token and calls the publish data agent endpoint. So you grab the URL from the agent settings, publish in the tab, and watch just the run to be complete. So this is pretty much, you can see that the agent is calling, and because it's attached to a lake house, is giving me all the data that we have in that lake house. If we want to go back, you can go to here and see exactly this agent that is linked to all these tables. So that is the way it's interacting. This agent is connecting to this lake house. This lake house has all these tables. So when I was playing around with this Python script, it's saying, hey, the lake house contains the following data tables, and this is the agent calling and accessing the data source here. And you can check that the agent is answering that question without any different, batch or user account is using the service principal. So, what do you think, Alex?
So that's amazing. That's awesome because so you on some point you resolve many issues that you face when you are trying to use a nominated user with the UPN, and also that's great. That's absolutely great.
And one thing that we were showing right now with the terminal is that no browser, no interactive login. That was just a backend process talking to enterprise data, in this case the lakehouse, through a ground AI agent with its own clean, auditable identity that post just went through as the app. So that's the gotcha here. Quick honesty moment here, because this lit me up while I was building this. My first agent sent on a direct lake semantic model. The service principal authenticated fine, the run completed, but the answer came back: permissions issue accessing the data source, even with workspaces access and model read all in the place. So for production, lakehouse and warehouse sources are the clean path right now. KQL database as a source is still listed as coming soon.
So what's the headline here?
Yeah, the Fabric data agents are now first class citizens in enterprise application architecture. So you can build a production system, wire a data agent into it, authenticate properly, and govern every call the way your security team expects.
And remember, that the three things that make it actually work, it's enable service principal for Fabric APIs, give the app workspace access, and give it access to the data source, because myth the third and you'll get a clean run with an empty answer.
Yeah, and if you're already, using Microsoft Foundry, for example, for agentic orchestration, this is the connector you've been waiting for, because Foundry agents can now ground their answers in Fabric data through a proper app identity.
It's in preview, but the pattern is real and it runs today. So we will drop the official Microsoft documentation in the description. If this helped you, hit the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It is free and it's really helped reach others who want to learn more. So PowerMates, stay powerful and join us on this journey. Yeah.